an original story by Martha M.C. Jenkins. The Sweet Deception of Flowers. The salt-laced wind of Bellbridge ruffled Elara's hair as she walked, her heart a curious flutter against her ribs. Rhys was, as usual, somewhere near the Seaview Gallery, his imposing floral installations often drawing crowds like moths to a flame. Today, however, Elara had a different kind of flame in mind, the quiet, potent burn of a pressed poppy, its heady perfume a deliberate weapon of her own making. She'd chosen her moment carefully, a break in the afternoon crowds, the late sun casting long shadows across the cobblestones. Rhys was examining a new arrangement near the gallery entrance, his brow furrowed in concentration as he adjusted a stray sprig of sea lavender. Elara approached, her worn sketchbook tucked securely under her arm, its pages holding a secret she was eager to test. "Rhys," she said, her voice a little higher than she'd intended. He turned, his gaze, usually so steady and direct, held a flicker of recognition, then a soft smile. "Elara, Bellbridge's resident bloom whisperer." He gestured to the vibrant display. Admiring the chaos or offering a critique? Elara laughed, a genuine bubbly sound. "Just admiring the artistry. You have a true gift, Rhys." She paused, then, with a carefully feigned casualness, continued, "Speaking of gifts, I was just sketching. I brought my latest muse." She opened the sketchbook to a page near the back. There, pressed with meticulous care, was a single deep crimson poppy. Its petals, though flattened by time, still held a ghostly echo of their former vibrancy. Elara had chosen this one specifically. She'd pressed it after a particularly exhilarating day of foraging for rare sea blooms, a day filled with a potent cocktail of wild joy and impulsive daring. The scent, even after months, was meant to evoke a thrilling, almost reckless sense of adventure. She held the open book out to him, her eyes tracking his every subtle reaction. "This is a poppy I pressed a few weeks ago. I find its essence quite invigorating. It always makes me feel bold, ready for anything." She watched his pupils, the slight shift of his shoulders, the way his lips curved. Rhys leaned closer, his gaze falling upon the flower. He was close enough now that Elara could catch the faint, clean scent of his own workshop, a subtle hint of wood shavings and something earthy, like damp soil. He looked at the poppy for a long moment, his expression unreadable. "It's beautifully preserved," he said finally, his voice even. "The color is quite striking." Elara waited. Was that all? No sudden spark of energy? No widening of the eyes? No involuntary smile that hinted at a shared zest for life? She'd felt it herself, a rush of vibrant energy, every time she'd opened the book to this page. It was a feeling that defied logical explanation, a gentle nudge towards exhilaration. She pressed on, her curiosity a palpable ache. "And the scent? Do you notice anything? It's meant to be quite potent." She inhaled deeply herself, trying to gauge if she was imagining the faint, sweet, intoxicating aroma, or if it was truly there, a whisper of its former glory. Rhys's gaze remained on the page, but his focus seemed to be on the visual representation, not the olfactory. He tilted his head slightly. "It carries a certain quiet elegance, I suppose, a subtle fragrance, almost like faded ink." He met her eyes then, and there was no hint of deception, only a gentle curiosity. "Is that what you were expecting?" Elara's heart gave a small, disappointed thud. Faded ink? Quiet elegance? It was as if he were looking at a monochrome photograph, devoid of its emotional resonance. The poppy, for her, was a splash of pure, unadulterated exhilaration, a whisper of the wild sea wind that had carried its seeds. For Rhys, it was Pleasant, perhaps, but utterly neutral. Yes, she managed, forcing a smile that felt a little brittle. Something like that. She closed the sketchbook, the sound louder than she intended in the sudden quiet between them. The rich, joyous scent of the poppy seemed to retreat, as if disappointed too. As Rhys began to turn back to his installation, Elara couldn't help but ask the question that had been gnawing at her. "Rhys," she said, her voice softer now, you get along with flowers, don't you? You create such dynamic arrangements." He turned back, a genuine smile gracing his lips this time, a smile that reached his eyes and made them crinkle at the corners. "I appreciate their form, their composition, their contribution to a larger tapestry of beauty. I enjoy the challenge of making them sing in new ways." He paused, as if searching for the right words. "But I don't feel them in quite the way you might, Elara." And there it was. The admission, delivered with such unassuming honesty, was both a relief and a puzzle. Elara's carefully constructed fragrant illusions, her secret language of pressed petals, held no sway over him. He was immune. But in that moment, standing on the sun-drenched cobblestones of Bellbridge, with the scent of sea and salt in the air, and the faint, unappreciated perfume of a brave copy trapped in the pages of her sketchbook, Elara felt something else bloom, something entirely unexpected. It wasn't the heady, riotous joy of the poppy. It was a quieter, more profound sense of connection. A connection that wasn't built on shared fragrances or amplified emotions, but on the simple, unadorned truth of who they were. His unaffectedness wasn't a barrier, she realized. It was an invitation to a love story that wasn't about wilting sensuality or intoxicating illusions, but about seeing each other, truly seeing each other, with all their unique strengths and their peculiar immunities. And in Rhys's steady, calm gaze, Elara saw a future as clear and bright as the Bellbridge sky, a future unburdened by the sweet deception of flowers.